Hi friends, it's Karen from RazzleDazzleInk.com. Today I would like to share with you a project I made for the holiday. It's this cute little Kit Kat candy holder. It's very simple to make, and I've got a template to share with you, and I want to show you the products that I used on this. It's got a cute little belly band that just comes right off. These little flaps open. You can put a little message on the inside if you like. And then this fits a Kit Kat perfectly. Now, I don't eat a lot of candy, but I'm sure there's probably other candy products that fit in here as well. So this product here, I used cherry cobbler cardstock, and I used the Stampin' Up! Season of Elegance paper that's featured in the Holiday Mini Catalog. It's currently available as a last chance product, but I wanted to show you these beautiful colors. It comes in Old Olive, Cherry Cobbler, and Basic Beige. And you can see they have these beautiful gold accents on one side, and there's a plain side as well on each piece. So if you like this paper, I suggest you order it right away before the supplies run out. The sales period for that ends on January 6th. So we're going to be using that. Today, I'm going to make the project in Basic Beige. And one of the other new products that I'm going to be using that's coming out on January 7th is this new stamp set called Bright Borders. There's 3 different border type stamps that coordinate with this new punch called To the Point. And you can purchase this as a bundle. But there's also some cute little sayings. I really like the fonts. And this punch will punch out all of these little frame images. So that's called Bright Borders. So I'll be using that as well. So let's get started. I've got a piece of Basic Beige cardstock here, and I cut that to 7 3/4 by 9 1/4. And I've got a template here. I'm going to share this with you. And if you want, you can take a snap screenshot of that. I'll share this again at the end of the video too, so that way you can see that. I've got all the dimensions of the cardstock, where to score, where to cut, and I'm going to go through all of that with you right now. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, you can. I'll have this on my website as well. All right. So what you're going to need to make this project is your paper trimmer, and it's got to have a scoring tool on it as well. So like I said, I've got my cardstock that's cut to 7 3/4 by 9 1/4. And I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to open up the extension arm on my cutter. Hopefully you can see that okay. But we're going to line this up here. And I'm going to score this at 2 3/4. I'm going to score it at 3 1/4. Next, I'm going to push this over to 6 inches. Score it at 6. And 6 1/2. What I like about this Stampin' Up! Trimmer here is at the 6 inch, it doesn't get cut off like some of the other paper cutters out there. All right, now I'm going to rotate my paper, and I'm going to score this at 3 inches. And 3 1/2. And then all my scoring is done. Okay. I will need to use my paper trimmer again after. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but on my, might be easier on this darker template, there's a score lines here. There's a larger section and a smaller section. So I just want to make sure that when you make this that you orient your cardstock correctly so the larger portion is at the top. Okay, which I have that here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my trimmer back in, and instead of scoring with the light color, I'm going to use the dark color for my cutter. And what I need to do is in this large left upper portion, this larger section, I'm going to cut this off. And what I'm going to do is just line this up to the first score line with my cutting track, which is right there, and I'm going to line that up to this first score line. And it's kind of hard to see, but we're just going to take that and remove that piece and cut it off, just like that. That's scrap. On this section, we're going to do the same thing. Just angle it like this. We're going to go from that first score line right to the edge here to this first score line. That'll give us our triangle cutoffs. Again, we're going to remove that. It's scrap. Okay, so now your cardstock should look like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove this section and this section next. And you can certainly use your paper trimmer to do that, but I am going to just use my scissors and follow the trace the line here. So bear with me a moment while I do that quickly. I just find it's easier for me to do it by hand. So this piece is going to get cut right off, and you're going to go all the way up to that upper score line. Okay. And that's going to get cut right off, and you can put this cardstock piece in your scrap pile. All right, we're going to do that on this piece too, right to that first score line. If you haven't seen this color yet, Basic Beige, it's one of the new colors that was released earlier this year. It's not very vanilla and it's not tan. It's a really nice light beige. I haven't used it much until recently. I don't know why, but okay. And now, now your cardstock's going to look like this. Oops, I forgot to remove this little piece. Let's cut that off too. Not paying attention. All right, we'll cut that off. There we go. Perfect. All right, so now your paper should look like this. And you've got these little squares here. These are going to be the little tabs that fold on the bottom. So we're going to want to cut that. Cut that. And then what I like to do is I also like to just create a little bit of an angle on those tabs. I cut a little angle because it makes it easier to fold and assemble the box. So I'm just going to do that on each one of these. There. Okay. So now your paper looks like that. Now we are ready to fold this into its shape. So I'm going to use a bone folder. I want to make sure I get a nice crisp crease on this. So this is just going to fold up like that. I'm going to fold these edges in. There are a lot of great deals right now on the Stampin' Up website. A lot of last minute, last chance deals. There's products as much as 60% off. So if you haven't seen that yet, definitely check it out. You can access it right through my website, through my online store at razzledazzleinc.com. Alright, I'm going to keep folding this. And you really want to crease these well, so you get a nice crisp crease. This bone folder works great. I can't live without this thing. Okay, alright, we're going to fold this up. Now this little candy holder is such a great little treat when you want to just give something small to somebody, maybe to your coworker, your neighbor, or any just little thing, little treat. Okay, great. Now I've got that kind of assembled, and you can kind of see how this is going to go together. So these little tabs will fold right in. This kind of creates your little box, and there's your little flaps. So it's pretty simple. Now what I did is I pre-cut some of my basic beige Season of Elegance paper, and this piece I cut to 2 5/8 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to adhere that down. I'm just going to use some liquid glue. I like to use the liquid glue on stuff like this because I can move the paper around and position it. It gives me just a little bit of extra time to do that. And I'm going to position this so the gold is kind of on the edges. Okay, so we got that. Now what I did also is I cut 2 pieces 2.5 inches by 4 inches. And you need 2 pieces to create this, because you're going to cut on a diagonal to get your little triangle cuts. Technically, you'll be able, if you do that, you'll be able to make 2 of these using these 2 pieces. So what I'm going to do is just line this up in the track, the cutting track. I'm going to put one corner there and one corner there. Cut. So there's my 2 triangles. And then I'm going to cut the opposite way, again lining up the corners in the track like that. So those will give me those pieces. Then what I can do, you'll see they'll easily fit right on here like that. These will glue right on. Let me put those on so I don't keep messing around. Okay, glue that on. And there's just a nice little frame right around that piece. And this piece will go here. And then I have 2 pieces left over that I can use to make another one, which I will be doing later. Okay. Glue that on. All right. A little glue goes a long way, so you don't need to use a ton. Then what I'm going to do is these little tabs are going to get folded in. And then this is going to get adhered right to the side like that. Now I highly recommend using some tear and tape or some strong adhesive to keep your little box together. I forgot to get some tear and tape out, so I'm just going to use my liquid glue for right now. It should hold. But we're going to just line this up in that crease and just apply even pressure. Just have to hold it for a second and let that glue set. Just line those up. I'm not going to put adhesive on my triangles because I want those to open freely. and just kind of push everything together. And there's the cute little box. What I'm going to do is stick my bone folder in here and just apply some pressure against that cardstock to make sure it's stuck. Okay, so that looks pretty good. It didn't really stick great, but you get the idea. So next what I'm going to do is I took a piece of 1" by 8" decorative paper. This is from the pack of designer paper called Adoring Hearts, I think it's called. Let me just double check what it's called. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Most Adored. Sorry, it's called Most Adored. It's item number 162976. And that paper also has gold accents on it. And that's on sale right now until supplies last. You get a whole 12 by 12 pack for $3.20. You can't beat it. It's a great deal for decorative paper like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to kind of hold this together, and I'm going to wrap my paper around my box, kind of creating a little band, and that's what's going to keep it closed. And I'm just going to wrap this right around, kind of lining up the seam in the front instead of the back, because that way you don't see it. And you want it a little bit snug, but you still want to have them be able to take that apart. So I'm going to use some liquid glue here. Hold that down. Use a lot of it on this one so it really holds it. And then I want to show you my stamping too. So while I hold that in place, what I did is I pre-stamped an image from the Bright Border stamp set. I actually used this stamp here, and I embossed it in gold on vanilla cardstock. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my coordinating punch. Hey, look at that, it stayed. I'm going to take my coordinating punch and just punch out one of those. And you can see it just lines up perfectly. It's easy to line up, keep it straight, and it punches right out. That's not exactly perfectly straight, so I can always trim it with my scissors, but I punched it, stamped an extra one just in case I didn't quite get it right. So there's another one. I think I'll use that one. So what I'm going to do is I've got some Night of Navy ink, and I have a greeting from that stamp set that says "From me to you." And I think what I'll do is have it go this way. Let's stamp that in Night of Navy. And I actually have some Night of Navy glittered ribbon. So I'm just going to tie that right around my band. I'm not going to adhere it or anything. I'm just going to tie it in a bow. And then I'll position it after here. Sometimes I'm bow challenged, so we'll see how this goes. But this will help keep your band in place. I like this ribbon because it's pretty thick. It's pretty easy to work with. It ties nice bows. Fits with it a little bit. Look at that. It really adds some nice color and sparkle. So I'm just going to cut that off. And then I'm going to just position that ribbon right on my band so it's kind of centered. And then my greeting, I got glitter everywhere. I'm going to just put some dimensionals on the back of this. Now I only want this to be centered, so I'm going to move my ribbon over just a little bit more. And I only want this to attach to my belly band because I want my flaps to be free flowing. So what I'm going to do is just apply my dimensionals right to my belly band. Kind of mashing them a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to remove these protective covers and just attach my greeting. And look at that. My Kit Kat will fit nicely in there. And it's a totally different look. You know, cherry cobbler versus the basic beige, and Night of Navy versus the red. So, you know, a different look, same project, same dimensions, just different cardstock. So I'm going to share with you my template one more time. Again, here's all the cardstock dimensions, scoring dimensions, and this template will show you where you need to cut. So I hope you enjoyed that project today, and I hope you give it a try and make your own little Kit Kat holder. Thanks for watching.